guys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the consequences of changing, and that's pretty much it, to be honest, nothing else. Now, you must understand first that the you that you want to become lives an entirely different life to the you that you are now. The you that you want to become doesn't relate to the same things and just lives a completely different life to you. In regards to entertainment and things of that nature, I'll be real, the you that you want to be can still like anime, you can still like gaming, but if we're being completely honest, the you that you want to be is not going to spend the same amount of time doing those things. Well, at least not in this stage, not in the early stage. The you that you want to be is someone who is, I don't really like this word, God, I'm not really a fan of hustle culture. Go ahead, shoot me, point your guns at me. Bro, I'm not really a fan of hustle culture, I'll be real, because it's a bit unrealistic in terms of, unrealistic is the word? No, it's just a bit doing too much when you don't have to. For example, flexing sleepless nights. My nigga, health is literally wealth. What is, answer this question, what is the only one thing that you want when you're sick? Pretty sure it's to be healthy again. But yeah, I'm steering away from the main original point. You've got to accept the consequences of changing. And the consequences of changing can be just not being as close with the same people anymore, like just living entirely different. Your old self has to die. No, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Your old self has to die. Completely, they have to die. I don't mean, surely you understand, I don't mean literally kill yourself, right? Okay, cool. And as long as you understand that, but your old self literally has to die and the new you must be born. Sorry, in order for the new you to be born. So if you really want to succeed and obviously live the life that you want, you've got to ask yourself, what am I willing to sacrifice? Because the truth is, in life, you can't gain anything without sacrifices. It is literally like one of the laws of the fucking world, bro. Like, it takes energy for me to grab this water bottle, pick it up and drink it. That's energy that's just been dissipated from my body, I think. You get what I mean? Even though it's a little bit or a tiny bit, it still takes stamina, believe it or not, to lift up a bottle. It's just a tiny bit, so you can do it for fucking days on end if you wanted to. Don't know why you do that, but yeah. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is, in order for you to live the life that you want, you've got to ask yourself this question: am I ready to make the sacrifices that need to be made? That means, am I ready to some days not go out when my boys are going out? Am I ready to some days say no when my boys ask me to link up? Am I ready to sometimes say no when my girl asks me if I'm free? Am I ready to sometimes say no when the lads ask me to jump on BS? Those are the questions that you've got to ask yourself, my bro, in all seriousness, because being completely real with you, there will be days where you don't have time for that shit. Like a lot of days where you don't have time for that shit, especially in the building phase. There's going to be days where you don't have time for that shit, and then you are going to have to decide and ask yourself, what is it that I really want? Do I want to play PS with the lads this time, and just, keep that other stuff in the back? There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just a question of asking yourself, where are your priorities? Then again, like I said, I'm not a fan of the hustle culture, so you don't have to be a nigga who just randomly stops chatting to all your friends, stops playing games, shit like that. I don't feel like life is life if you're not living, really. I feel like if you're not having at least a little bit of fun, you're just existing. And existing is just a shit. Just like, what the fuck is the point of that? I'm here to have experiences, I'm here to experience life. So like, bro, what do you mean just to exist? What the fuck? Get that shit out of my face, nigga. Anyways, as I would say, once you've asked yourself these questions and you've established your priorities, move in accordance with the priorities you've established. If you've told yourself, cool, I am now going to prioritize whatever it is that I'm working on over going out with the lads or linking with this girl, or just, you know what I'm talking about, innit? Just anything of that nature, you know what I'm talking about. If that's what you've decided, then you've got to move in accordance with that, because you've got to treat your word as law. Because your mind, it keeps score of when you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't do it, by the way. And it literally decreases or raises your level of self-confidence. And you need to have self-confidence, because without self-confidence, your mind is not going to think that you're able to do anything. So therefore, you won't be able to do anything. The man that thinks he can do it and the man who and the man who thinks that he can't do it are both correct. Because the one who thinks that he can't do it is right. He can't do it because he thinks he can't do it. The one who thinks that he can do it is correct because he can do it because he thinks he can do it. And it's as simple as that. Imagine it like a health bar, okay? Imagine like a health bar. But imagine the health bar just goes on forever. Like goes on this way, like forever, infinitely. Cool. Now, imagine there's a line at a health bar and it's got a specific number in it. Cool, let's start the number at 0 for now. Whenever you say something that you're going to do, or you say that you're going to do something and you don't do it, that line goes this way. And when it goes this way, the number decreases. And your mind records it as this nigga, he ain't that nigga. He can't back his talk. He's not gonna do what he tells himself he's gonna do. So the line goes backwards. But now, when you do something after you said you're gonna do it, your mind keeps score and says, okay, this nigga can back his talk. And it goes back to 0. Now, if you do that again, it goes back up to 1, not back up to 1, never, it wasn't at 1 before, you know what you're talking about. But yeah, it goes from 0 to 1 when you do it again, and then it goes to 2, then it goes to 3. Now, 3 if you did the same thing again. If you did the opposite, it would go down, which is pretty self-explanatory. I guess you understand what I'm trying to say now. Cool. Now, with this in mind, I'm gonna give you 2 takeaways. 2 practical takeaways. I'm trying to keep the takeaways practical because I feel like I don't want you man to intellectually wank in it. I have stolen that phrase from someone. If you know who I've stolen the phrase from, just keep quiet. But you get what I'm saying? I don't want you man to intellectually wank. What I want you man to do is to take what I say and use it practically. Apply practicality to it. You feel me? I want you to take action from the words that I'm telling you. Now, cool. The first practical takeaway is ask yourself the questions, or this question: where are my priorities? Sorry, I'm gonna add one more. Ask yourself, what do I really want? No, that's the exact same question. Doesn't matter. The next takeaway, which is also practical by the way, is to treat your word as law. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, do it. Do it. Now, in order to refresh your TikTok brain, I'm going to basically just summarize what I've just said. In order for your life to change, you need to come to terms with the consequences and what you're going to have to sacrifice. Now, this does not mean hustle culture. This does not mean you can't have fun in life. This does not mean that you can't live. This just means that most of the time, or a lot of the time, or some of the time, does that make sense? Some of the time, or I'm making it make sense. And some of the time, depending on what phase you're at, you are going to have to prioritize what it is that you are building over whatever fun you want to have. Whether that is linking a girl or linking a guy. For the ladies in here, my content is, what's the word again? Unisex. My content is unisex. It applies to both ladies and men. You're going to have to ask yourself, do I want to have fun or do I want to build? And if you're serious, the answer is I want to build. And therefore, sometimes you're going to have to prioritize that over the fun that you want to have. I've just repeated myself, haven't I? It don't matter. Like I said, you understand that. 2, if you don't move in accordance with what you say, in accordance to your priorities, your self-confidence is going to plummet. It's going to drop every single time you fail to do what you said you're going to do. And therefore, it will just get harder and harder and harder, for you to commit to the acts that are going to actually pertain and self-perpetuate what you are building. Self-perpetuate. That's a real word, isn't it? Yes, it is. Definitely is. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.